Well, time now to speak about the game of Andy Murray in a bit more detail. Of course, the great British hope who'll be trying to win a second Wimbledon title here across these next 2 weeks. And of course, he did just win a final against Milos Raonic at Queen's Club a couple of weeks ago. And we see him, Mark, being so good returning a serve, particularly from someone as powerful as Raonic. How is he able to do it so well?
Yeah, I felt like Queen's, he just always looks so relaxed there. He knows it's perfect preparation for Wimbledon. Each match he played, he got better and better and stronger and stronger. And then Raonic, definitely his most dangerous match. We all know, I feel like Raonic is a dark horse at Wimbledon. Now having John McEnroe in his corner, and what he brings to the table is huge. And so, you know, a set 3-love down, and Raonic hasn't lost a serve in the whole tournament. All of a sudden comes back to turn it around, and the way he did, and quite comfortably beat him in the third set. Just shows the strength that Murray has in his ground strokes. His hands are incredible. He's one of the best returners, if not the best returner in the game right now. The way he's able to read the serves, especially Raonic, who's incredibly difficult to read with that big ball toss. He's got a very consistent ball toss that kind of goes everywhere. He can serve it out wide in the body, and he's very good at mixing it up. And the way he hung in there, waited for his opportunity, and all he needed was that one opportunity, and broke straight back, and then broke 3 times in a row, I think that was, to take it on. But talking about that return, as I said, he's got incredible hands. What he does so well is he stays back a little bit and then kind of waits for that serve and then moves in, and he has a beautiful short backswing on the returns. You know, it's a little bit different on the ground strokes, but on the serves, he knows he takes a lot of the pace from the serve and uses it against the server. Like Raonic has got a huge serve, you can't afford to have a big swing on the return. And what Murray does so beautifully is he takes it back really early on the backhand and on the forehand side, and uses the pace and can kind of, I wouldn't say block it back, but a very short swing to kind of get the ball going. And his body momentum's really going forward, especially on the second serve. He's literally finishing almost a foot to 2 to 3 foot inside, you know, taking it early and literally putting him straight into defense.
I was going to ask where he differs in terms of returning a first serve to a second serve.
Well, it all depends on who you're playing, but of course someone like Milos, whose serve is so huge, you definitely need to have some space and on the first serve. So he's definitely way back on the first serve, but what he still does, he still likes to move in with a split step with a racket back early on both sides. You know, normally there's, against bigger servers, you would guess some of the times on the first serve, but his movement and his coordination, his hands are so good, like what Andre used to be. Andre Agassi, best returner of all time. That's what Murray is right now. He does not guess. You know, I kind of feel like he's there and he sits and waits because he feels like even if it's out wide and it's huge, he still believes, and he's still got the hands and his legs to get there and to make a play at the ball. So on a second serve, it's a little bit different. He moves forward a little bit more, but he's still doing the same thing. If this is the baseline, you know, kind of moving back here, he takes one big step, split step, and then kind of takes the ball early inside the court.
On the second serve?
On the second serve, applying that pressure, whether the guy's serving, volleying, or staying back.
And when he has got that ball back in play, we see a lot of drop shots from Andy Murray as well. What does he do so well with that? Well,
what's so great is you don't, when he does his drop shots, you can't read them. It's kind of,
you don't know when they're going to come?
You don't know when they're going to come. So he's so comfortable on the baseline. And the great thing is he kind of sits on the baseline. He doesn't get too far back. Sometimes he does get a little bit too far back against guys where I don't think he should. For instance, like we were talking about Djokovic, against someone where he can't afford to get too far back. But he loves, almost like playing possum. You know, he likes being run around the court. Because like I said, he's another guy that takes it from a play from defense to offense incredibly quick. You know, he could be rallying and all of a sudden with that same grip, that change in the last second, and does that drop shot because his hands are so good. You know, we've seen him play Davis Cup winning those doubles with his brother. He's got some beautiful volleys. His volleys improved so well, and that's what he does. He kind of got a beautiful feel on the backhand and the forehand side, but it's important for him not to overuse that shot during Wimbledon, where I felt like maybe at the French, could have been a little bit too much. Especially someone who's incredibly quick like Djokovic, but most of the time he does get away from that, like, you know, because then what happens? It's a drop shot, and then we all know what's coming next.
Right.
The lob, right?
Exactly.
The flick lob, the beautiful flick lob. That's another one of the best shots on the tour right now is his topspin lob on the backhand side and the forehand side, especially in a forehand kind of where he's running. He almost hooks it really late and he waits for the player to commit himself and then kind of does that big hook lob. So he's definitely got a lot of shots in his portfolio, that's for sure.
So Andy seems to be playing well enough, Mark, to get himself almost to the finish line. He's made the last 2 Grand Slam finals, but coming up short to Novak Djokovic each time. What has he got to do then, a bit extra, to try and beat Novak?
This is where I love watching Andy, and this is where I get a little frustrated because I believe in matches, quarterfinals, kind of semis, he's a little bit more aggressive. He's going forward a little bit more, and then he plays Djokovic on all the finals where he's done many in the past few years, and I feel like he gets a little passive. He's just waiting a little bit too much, almost like for Djokovic to miss, and we spoke about that earlier, that Djokovic is not going to miss. Right. So I would love to see him take some risks. I'm not talking about all the time, but sometimes, maybe on the second serve, turn around, or he's got such amazing hands as we've been speaking about. Go in, take it early, come to the net. He's got great volleys. He can back up that shot. So I would like to see him get a little bit aggressive and come to the net. Do something a little bit different. You know, like I said, it's tough to sit back and rally, even though no matter how comfortable Andy is on the back, and we all know he can rally all day as well, move all day. But if you've played someone so many times and they've almost at stages got your number at Grand Slams, you got to do something to change it. So
maybe we'll see a riskier Andy Murray at this year's Wimbledon Championships. Who knows? It could be the one thing he needs to do to beat Djokovic.